So I believe that before starting this Java, you guys already know about C and C++. At least you should have basic understanding of C and C++ programming. I think you would have studied this in your btech first semester, maybe MCA first semester. So introduction of Java. So first of all, um, it is high level language. So I think you know what is high level, though I can explain. Actually, there are we can say types of languages like high level, low level, assembly, four generation, etc. So Java comes under the category which is known as high level. High level meaning its syntax is like English like syntax. You don't have to write program into the binary codes like one and zero, and you don't even have to write programs along with some debugging codes assembly language, and it is pretty simple to learn. So first of all, the very first thing is who is the creator of Java. You know, you can write down in the comment. I can. So its creator name is James Costley. He created this programming language in Sun Microsystem. The Sun Microsystem is a company. It was a company because it was acquired by Oracle Corporation. So currently, entire Java, entire projects which were owned by the Sun Microsystem, now these are owned by the Oracle. And in the year 1995. So why you should learn Java? This is the very first thing you should know. Why you should learn Java? So the basic idea is, if I talk about prior Java, so there was C, C++, assembly languages, other things, other languages was there. But the problem was with these languages, uh, those languages actually were high-level languages. That this is fine. But the problem is those were not independent, platform independent. So I can see this is the very first key feature of Java, platform independent. So what does it mean? So what happens if you write a program? If you write a program on some machine, maybe some laptop, if you write a program on some A laptop that is having some configuration like Wi-Fi, or either processor, if you try to run the same program on another machine which may have a different configuration, with the same configuration, so you face some issue to run that program. Because sometimes what happens is the architecture of processor will change. Maybe the last time you're using some other processor, this time you're using some other processor, and maybe the OS which you're using, that's suppose 32-bit OS, and another one was which you're using which is 64-bit OS. So that's the reason you write a code in some languages. So you have to face some issue to run that code in another language. So this is known as actually platform dependent. If we do not face any issue to run the same piece of code on some other machine, so that's how it is known as platform independent. Now the next thing is simple. It is simple because it inherits its syntax from C, C++. So I think you remember that how I used to write with the C, C++, for loop, while loop. same way you can write loop in Java also. And it has English like syntax. It has English like syntax, which is pretty easy to write. And one thing I would like to say, this word WOR, what does it mean is write once, run anywhere. So if you have written code once, so you can run it anywhere. If the code has been written in Java once, so you can run it anywhere. You don't have to be bothered about the OS and architecture. What you should have is you should have compiled code. Then you can run it on any architecture. There are some other good features of the Java programming language like platform, neutral, robust, simple. But I'll discuss those later. So first of all, let me show you that how we can write a simple Java. So as you would have written some program in the C, C++. So the first step is you have to write some header files. So for that, we have here package. We do not have header files, but similar to that, we have packages here. Which we don't have here. So in order to write simple program of Java, so you will start from class, and keep in mind that this class is a keyword, so that is why its first paragraph will be lowercase. And now you can give some name here like test class. Now curly braces. So now the next thing is main method, right? So in C or C++, you have like void main method. So here, similar to that, we have here public public static void main. Here it contains one string array argument, and its in can be anything. As of now I'm 50, and these are the square brackets, which is for array. And here you can write some code like line one, line two, and basically these two slashes are is known as the comments. So this is a comment, and it is again inherited from C plus because same type of comedy you also write in the C script. Suppose if you want to print hello, so in C or C plus plus you will be having print of, right, and in C plus plus you will be having cout. So here syntax is pretty simple. You need to write system dot dot print and within the double quotes you can write hello. So this is a simple Java program in which what you are doing, you are just printing hello. So it is pretty simple code, you think. So, but the first of all thing which you should class, okay, and this is the class name as class. So let me just write it keywords which are used in our program, and you already know all the keywords we write in lowercase. Like void. So these are the keywords. Now, this test class, what is this? This is the class name. You can have any name instead of this one, whichever you like test class or hello class, whatever. But you should follow Java coding convention, meaning this has to be capitalized. importance is, as in when you write a class, so make sure its first letter will be in uppercase. Now, this is the opening curly braces, opening curly braces, and this is known as closing curly bracket. And public, static, void, all these are keyword, and void is the return type also. Void means this method is not going to return anything. Now, main, what is this? This is the name of method. Name of method. It has purely main. You cannot write anything else. If you will write anything else of main, so this will not be considered as the standard of the Java class. The string is a class. As we created a test class, so there is already a class which is a string. So we have to use it. So this is predefined class string. And you can see we are writing system.out.println. What does it mean is system is a class, out is a reference variable here, which is defined in the system class, and println is the method. I'll explain this later. Actually, once you will be able to understand what is object oriented concept, what are object oriented concepts, then you will be easily relate to these things. So this is another class system and method println. So these two are methods here. So once you have written the code, right? This is pretty simple code. Once you have written the code, so the next step is you need to compile the code, right? So how you can compile the code? It's again pretty simple. You should install Java in your system. So how you can install in your system? It is again pretty simple. You can go to Google. I can show you. So you can see here we can see the websites like download Java for Windows, download Cycle India. So you can easily click on some link, okay, very relevant, and then it is pretty simple. You have to opt your operating system because if you are using Windows, then obviously you should be needing the exe file. If you have operating system, then you must have some RPM or some other set of packages. Maybe so you if you are using Mac machine, so you can see here download. Once you click on it, so it will start downloading. So make sure which type of OS you are using. Which type of Windows you are using, whether the Windows 64-bit or 32-bit. So you can see here use 32-bit to download. So once you click on download Java, then it will start downloading. So once you have downloaded the Java, so the next step is you will click on like install and then next finish. So that's how your installation will be done. It's pretty simple. So you can see here the version are also available. So the latest version is GDK development 22.0.1. This is the latest version of the JDK. So you need to download this JDK, maybe the 22 version, 21 version, whichever you like. But the latest is 22. So I would suggest download this JDK 22 version. And from here, you can opt the operating system, Linux, Mac OS, whichever you prefer. So I opt here Windows. And then you can click on down. So if you need installer, so you can opt this one. Once you click on it, so you can see it is an exe file. It is an exe file, and this is the MSI installer, and this one is the binary zip. So it depends on your requirement. So I would suggest since you are beginner, okay, and so that is why you should use this installer. This is pretty simple. So once you install the Java, click on this exe file, then next once you install JDK. So what happens in your C drive in the program files, you will be having a Java folder. In my system, it is not there because I never use installer. How do I install? I basically install softwares from uh, from binaries, from zip files. So here, it depends on your because I don't want this for anything in the C drive, so that's why I always use the C drive and I get it this machine folder. So whatever I would like to install, I install this right. So if I go to the Java, so you can see here I'm having Java 8. I'm using Java 8 because it is pretty stable version and organizations are still using this Java 8. So that is why I'm using this Java 8. So suppose if you have installed 22 version or but here these files will be similar. So once you click on this Java, so this folder you will find in the C program files, the Java folder. Since I installed in my folder, this is customization installation, that's why it doesn't need it. And once you click here, Java 8, so you'll be seeing these files, binaries, into JRE, copyright. So these are the things you will be seeing. So now what you have to do is the next step is you have to set the path of these binaries. So this bin folder is having the commands in order to compile the code and run the code. So this command is made for compiling the Java code, and Java this is made for the running your compiled code. So these tools we need. So that is why we have to set the path till here. So how to set the path? So if you click on the Windows button, you go to the edit. So here you will be seeing like edit the system environment variable and edit environment variables for your account. So click on this one because you know what happens if as of now you may be the student or you will be just trying to learn the Java. But what happens if you are working in some organization, so you will not be having access to the system variable this one. So that is why you should always opt this one. Edit environment variables for your. Once you click on this one, so what you need to do is just click on new here. So you have to name your variable name Java, and here you have to paste the path before bin. So how you can copy the path? So you can copy path from here. This one, Java 8. You can copy the path, and then you can paste. So you can see I've already created the variable. So I'm using this one. 18.0 dot 18.0.1 I'm using. So that is why the path is here. E installation Java JDK 18.0.1.1. So once you have created this variable, so you will find another variable. So another variable is here path. Once you added the variable, so you what you have to do is this is actually predefined path variable. So you have added this Java home. So you have to set this Java home here in the path. So how to do is so you can see here. If you double click here, so here you can type like percentage Java. I've written here. Then slash then bin. Because all the binaries are in the bin directory. So this is the bin directory. So the binaries are here. Java C, Java. So those exes are here. So that is why we have to have path in here. So once you have set the path, so what you need to do is just click on OK. Click on OK. Yeah. Now you will open CMD. If you already have in the CMD session, then close that because it will not run. If you try to run the Java commands on existing CMD on existing command prompt before setting up the you know before setting up the environment variable. So if you If you do, then Java will not run. So that is why it is advisable to close the command prompt sessions. Once you close the command prompt sessions, so here what you have to do is just type CMD now. So the next step is you need to check the version. If your environment variable has been set properly. So if you run here Java space version and you hit enter, so you will see the version. See, the version is Java version 18.0.1.1. And if you have done any mistake in order to set the path, so you will be seeing some error like Java is not internal or external recognized command. Such kind of errors you will be seeing here. Now you can see Java C if you run this Java C. So see what it is. It is printing all the possible switches, all the supported switches along with the Java C. So this is how you can make sure your installation is done properly. I guess till here it is pretty clear that how we can install Java and how to set the path. Once it is done, then the next step is the code you have written, a one hello program, one test program. So the code we can run in the code and then we can run. So I can show you how. So here on any directory, suppose on my D directory, I'm creating a folder. Yeah, instead of here, what I can do is I'm going to take it in E drive to meet this date for this. So here downloads the directory. So here we have to create one simple file. Okay. So I can create here. So make sure this extension should be visible because this extension has to be Java since we are creating a Java file. So suppose I am having test.java. This is my Java file name. So make sure this the file name is test, right? So that is why make sure your main class will have the same name. So the class name will be test. And how can you make this extension visual? In order to make the extension visible, so what you have to do is just go to view, and here you can check this file name extension. If you check, see if I see I've unchecked this one, so that is why I cannot see its extension. Once I check this file name extension, so I can see it is the .java file. Right? If this is not checked, so mistakenly you would have taken only the text file. So make sure if it is checked, then you can see the extension and that's how you can .txt and you can place it on Java extension. Once it is done, so you can see it is Java file, so that is why it is recognized the J symbol. So it is pretty small. I can make it bigger for you, so you can see here. This is test.java. That's how it will look like. Now you can open this in any editor, whichever you like, to be the VS Code or anything. I would prefer to use the Notepad++. So here I'll write it. So guess what should be the class name? Class name has to be test because I have saved this Java program with the test name, right? So here I will have to write my main method. So how would I write public static void main string? This is array symbol T, and here system dot println, and here I can write hello. So you can see it is very simple to write here. So public static void main. Make sure there shouldn't be any spelling mistake. Now once you have written the code, so you have saved the code. So now next step is compilation. So how to compile? First of all, you will have to navigate to this directory. So your code is in E drive demo, and then The class file name is test.java. This is your Java class file. So how you can navigate? E drive. Apply to the E drive. Now cd demo, and in the demo directory I'm having this test.java. So how to compile this test.java? I have already told you that there is a Java c.exe command, Java C command. So using that you can compile the code. So Java C. Now test.java. So once you compile the code, so as of now you can see before compilation of the code there is only one file which is test.java. So now you see the magic. If I hit enter, what happens? It is compiling the code. So you can see code has been compiled. There is no error. Now check how many files are there. If I so this is a dia command which will list the files and folders inside this directory. So you can see there are two files. First is test.java. It is having the source code which is there. Next one is test.class. This is the bytecode. Okay. This test.class is the file which is generated after the compilation, and this one is also called the bytecode. So you should keep this terminology in your mind that this is the bytecode. So how to run? So once you have this bytecode, you can copy this bytecode and you can take it anywhere. But the JDK has to be installed there, and then you can run. Or GRE has to be installed there, so you can run. What is GRE? I'll explain that later. Now, how to run this? Just type Java, then test. You don't have to write a dot class and dot anything. You don't have to write this Java and then your class file name, your bytecode file name. That is test. You don't have to write extension here. Once you hit enter, so you will see the output. So the output is hello. So I think this is that pretty clear for you that how we can compile the code, how to install Java, and how to run the code. This is pretty simple. So it is pretty simple to write simple test code. Now the next thing, so the next step is once you have compiled and run the code, right? So the next, so now the next step is Java terminology. These are very important to understand because these are very frequently used terminologies in Java. So first thing is JVM. So what is JVM? So first of all, JVM it stands for Java Virtual Machine. So what happens is once you have written the code, okay, and you compile. So when you run command Java in the class name in order to run the code, in order to execute the code. So that time this JVM come into the picture. Actually, this actually runs your code. Okay. So it has three execution phases. So first one is writing Java code. So who will write the code? You will write the code, right? Whoever will be the programmer has to write it. Now the next step is compilation. So you know how to compile simple Java C. So this Java C command, using this Java C command, you can easily compile the code. Okay. So this Java C comes with the JDK. So once you install the JDK, then everybody is having the Java C, and then it takes program name as the input and it generates the bytecode. Remember, there was only one file test.java. Once we compiled like Java C space test.java, then it generated the bytecode. So bytecode was like test.class file. Now next step is running phase of program. So next phase is running phase of program. So what happens here is JVM. executes bytecode which was generated by the compiler. So that bytecode will be executed by the JVM. So I think this is pretty clear that what is JVM and how the compilation is happening. Why it is required. So now next thing is bytecode. So it has Java runtime environment, which is JRE, Java runtime environment. So with the help of this JRE, you are able to run it. So if you have this JDK, so it contains JRE also. So now you can compile your code and then you can. Now next thing is garbage collector. Garbage collector. So actually, this is a good tool I can say because if you would have used C plus plus, so you would have you would have done some data section programming like creating the links node, adding some node. So after some point of time, you have to delete that node, right? So you will have memory. So once you create the linked list code in the C or C++, so you will have to allocate the memory. So for allocating the memory, you will be using like malloc and calloc. And once you want to delete the node, so you will be using the free or some method in order to free up that space from the memory. So in C++, these things you will have to do. You will have to take care of the memory. But this garbage collector does. You don't have to do that. So it's pretty important thing. So now next thing is next thing is main features of Java. Main features of so what are the features of Java? Platform independent. Next is object oriented. Next is simple, robust, secure, distributed, and one is multi-threading, portable. Now ninth one is high performance. That's it. So these are the main features of Java. I think oops, you already know the object oriented programming. This oops, simple. It is pretty simple to write code here. Okay. So the next thing is secure. So there are actually security features to do later. Okay, because it doesn't have some any pointers. With C plus you'll be having the pointers or the pointer memory. So in Java we don't have that. So that is why Java is pretty secure. Robust means it is pretty reliable. Java is pretty reliable. Okay. So that it puts a lot of effort into checking that this is the case possible. So that is robust. Now, multi-threading, it is being used in. So actually here you can get the multi-threading programs here. So they will be, you can write several threads in the one program. Threads are pretty lightweight in the process. Portable, you can run it anywhere. Once you have written the code on one machine, you can run the code, but there has to be JVM in order to run that. So that is why it is portable. It is high performance. So distributed. So for implementing the distributed things here, we have RMI, remote method invocation. We have TCP/IP programming here. So you can write code, you can write the distributed code. So client server type of programs you can write in the Java. So it's distributed. Now, so what type of application you can build in Java? So simple console application. You can write console application. You can write a desktop application. Desktop applications like MS Office, MS Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Paint. Those are desktop applications. Your Notepad, Notepad plus plus, your media player. Those are desktop applications. Web applications. Web applications like Facebook, and everything. But you can write its backend. Okay, backend parts, front end part. You can use HTML, CSS, and last but not the least, mm, mobile. Mobile card technologies. So all such type of applications you can write in Java. Consulting, you are very well aware. We have one test code which we have run on the console. Okay, so this desktop application you very well know. It is like MS Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Notepad, media players, web applications. Okay, but mobile applications actually you may be using the Android mobiles. So in the Android, if you want to write some application for Android OS, so you can use that. Now next is card technologies. So I think you might be using the smart card, like ATM card, debit card, credit card, Metro card. So also several types of cards are there. So you can write code for certain cards in card. But for all these ones, actually there are like so for this one, Java SE, Java SE in order to write the console and desktop application. But for web application, you use Java enterprise. For writing mobile application, you need mobile microservice, which was known as J2ME. J2ME. So you can move to because two is for second generation release. Yeah, two is for second generation. So Java ME, Java micro edition. You can move from this to Java micro edition. And for card, Java. So such softwares, you have to have if you want to write console or text application, you have to have the Java. If you want to write the web application, you should have Java EE, and if you want to write mobile application, you should have Java ME. And if you want to write card technology, so Java card distribution, you should have to install your system in order to create such application. So we will start from these two first, then we'll move on this one. For writing mobile application, we'll discuss this later. Okay. But you have to have understanding of writing the console applications or desktop applications, then only you can jump onto the mobile application. And for any of these, so this Java SE is most important and first. Then only you can jump to these development like technology. So